very like indebted to this like figurative audience that I thought one day would exist. So you existed for me at the beginning of the project in theoretically,
Right.
and that drove me. But that drove me, and that's why I did it, because if I felt like my relationship with the camera is very funny in that way, that like I will do more when I know there's a camera there. And like, yes, as an actor, you do that, right? I'm like playing to the camera, but that's
Right.
not actually, in the deeper sense, like, yes, there's that, but the deeper sense, it gave me purpose. Because if the cameras weren't on, I maybe wouldn't have flown to Israel. I maybe wouldn't have gone to Neve. I maybe wouldn't have gone back to Haifa and like asked my family all these questions and dug and got really uncomfortable. But when you know the camera's there and there's an audience, like at least I felt really responsible to finish it.
Yeah, my Rebbe would always say, you know, when you can recognize the stage that you're playing on, you play differently, right? So
Beautiful.
a camera does that, forces you into recognizing, okay, now there's a true stage, even though there's really always a stage. This is the whole thing is really, right, the way that we understand it through the lens of Torah is that the world is God's narrative, right? God's telling a story. This is the story of the world. If you would recognize that you're on film all the time, this is happening, right? So we would be different. So the cameras actually let us tap into that. There's a
I
deep
love
co-op
that.
there.
That so resonates for me. I mean, it can be a coping strategy. Like for me, you know, tough times in my childhood, I would pretend I was on a show
Wow.
to give myself purpose. Yeah. How interesting, right? Like, and so maybe I was tapped into truth. Maybe I was also tapped into a coping mechanism to make the situation around me just a little bit more bearable. But now it's that same thing, but with purpose, and ideally having the audience be inspired to do the very same for themselves. Like that would be the greatest joy, would be to inspire other people to go on a journey, on a deeper journey within themselves.